Welcome to another show on the Instant Celebrity Maker. Today's guest, Tad Oviatt, has, well, I don't want to overuse the term, an interesting business model. And I truly say that it's not a new financial planner. It's not a new dentistry method. He has something that applies not only nationally, but globally. And I want to give him the opportunity to express what it does, because I think he's going to do it better than I can, because he's the CEO. And welcome to the show today, Scott. Or Tad, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Boy, maybe your middle name is Scott. I just had that in my mind. But Tad, tell us about ParkENT, because I find it particularly interesting and appealing, especially with global warming and everything that's going on.
Yeah, so with global warming and everything, a lot of people are actually buying e-bikes, buying electric bicycles. In fact, in 2020, there was a massive e-bike boom, so much so that, like, in the United States, there were 600,000 electric bikes that were purchased, and that's over the 200,000 electric cars that were purchased. And while there are over 100,000 electric car charging stations across the nation, there's only 8 locations to charge an electric bike across the nation, and none of them offer security. So we're coming out with a secure e-bike charging station to give you a place to safely publicly charge your electric bicycle as you're out riding around. Get a bump up charge, so that you can have enough power to be able to get home, as opposed to trying to find some random outlet somewhere. And plus, I mean, more cycling, you're lowering the carbon footprint by up to 67%. And being able to get around without producing noxious gases out of a car. So for those short trips to and from the store, buy an e-bike. I mean, granted, they're like $2,000, $3,000 a piece, but you can zip back and forth to the store. Everybody lives within about 5 miles of a grocery store or something. And those e-bikes make those hills really easy to get up and down. So you can just pop on an e-bike, go over to the store, pick up the groceries, come back home, and you'll actually have a place at the store to put your e-bike at, and you won't have to worry about it being stolen with a bike lock that could be cut in like 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, that's a fantastic service. So you're a necessary accessory to a growing category. I mean, you're almost running in tandem with Elon Musk but I mean, in terms of he was the big innovator for electric cars, and with the electric bicycles now, this is fantastic. So where is your distribution right now?
Right now, we're in the Atlanta metro area. We just installed our first station into the Atlanta Tech Village in Buckhead, Atlanta, where it is up and operating. And it's funny you say Elon Musk, because we are using Tesla technology in our station as a 1 kilowatt backup power supply for people to be able to charge up their e-bikes with. So it's out right now for people to be able to use.
And where's the next market?
The next market is still around the Atlanta metro area. There are a lot of places, especially with the new belt line that has been being established around the Atlanta metro area. There's a lot more locations where people are now accessing with bicycles, e-bikes, e-trikes, even into lower impoverished areas of immigrants where they're just used to cycling around. They need a more secure option. But then moving out, I mean, we're talking Miami, we're talking Chicago, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
New York City.
New York City, most definitely, since they just passed the e-bike ban, did away with the e-bike ban, so people can actually ride e-bikes, even though they were anyways. They can publicly, openly ride them now. And they're going to need a place to charge in public, because there is no place right now. And
I think LA, even though I'm from LA originally, I live in Las Vegas now, but the Santa Monica, Marina del Rey, Venice area, all huge market potential.
San Francisco area, Oakland area, and all of those places, all up and down, pretty much anywhere in the United States these days is selling bikes and e-bikes like crazy. Even up in Calumet, Michigan, which is in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, they are sold out of e-bikes.
Wow.
So it's across the country right now, and they just need a place to safely charge up in public.
I love it. So how would your friends describe you? I mean, I'm very excited about what you do in the category. I think it's great, but let's talk a little bit about that.
I'm a tall, nice guy. I am 6'4".
Okay.
So I'm much taller than all of my friends. But they all tell me as a small, nice guy, and some of them are like, "You're the smartest guy I know," only because I have 4 degrees from the university. So,
well, what are your 4 degrees? That begets the question.
yeah, I studied computer engineering at Georgia Tech. I did electrical engineering at Georgia Southern, where I also got a master's in applied engineering management and an MBA.
Okay, you're very well educated, I'd say.
Some would say overly educated.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. So we got to have smart people like you. So, what is your greatest accomplishment, other than 4 degrees?
It's kind of hard to choose, actually. One could be the patent I got on my actual device based on the one point of commonality all bicycle frames have in an entirely custom market, which I found. Either that or it's my Eagle Scout badge that I got, my black belt in
You're an
martial
Eagle Scout
arts.
too.
Yes,
and martial arts, tell me about that.
I have a black belt in Goju Ryu martial arts that took me 7 years to get.
We share. I'm a 6th degree in Taekwondo, and also studied extensively Kyokushinkai and Hapkido.
So very nice.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm about half trained up in Hapkido. So
in Hapkido.
Yeah, it's my sensei did both Goju Ryu and Hapkido, which have surprising similarities when you combine the two.
Really, Goju Rai, is this Goju Ryu or Goju Rai?
Goju, well, he called it Goju Ryu. So
is it Japanese based?
Very much so.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, because Goju's Japanese. I know that. I believe that. Is that a mainland or an Okinawan system? A little off topic, but you've caught my attention.
It's an Okinawan system.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, that is the Goju that I'm referring to. Solid system. Absolutely appreciate it. It has very similar roots to Kyokushin, which I had studied extensively.
Very interesting. Yeah, that my parents put me into it because I just grew very fast and they didn't want stuff in their house to get broken. So it was a great way for me to stay coordinated through the whole time.
And learn balance. That's great.
Yes,
That's great.
Yes.
So what do you wish you had known when you started out? And this can apply to your business today or in general. If you were to, take a 2020 hindsight snapshot.
2020 hindsight, how much everything was going to cost. Because we started with nothing, absolutely nothing. And
do you have investors, or are you self-funded?
We have some investors from accelerator programs, as the Farm Boomtown Accelerator Program and Flashpoint through Georgia Tech, but everything else is self-funded except for my dear grandmother, who started us off with a friends and family loan, if you want to call it that. But yeah, no, we've been self-funded through the whole thing basically, and been very, very studious about how we're spending our cash.
Got it.
So much so that we get upset when we hear people have been through $2 million and don't even have a prototype yet.
Wow. Well,
when we have a fully functioning system for not even a tenth of that amount of money.
Wow. Okay. Well, that is inexpensive for a prototype. I'm guessing $150K if I can do my quick math.
Yeah, that's $150K is about on tap for how much we've had invested in the company, and we've been through 7 prototypes, patenting, full A/B marketing testing, full manufacturing demo model, full manufacturing product to product launch.
And what's the material made out of?
Oh, good old-fashioned American steel.
Oh, it's steel. Okay. Good. Okay. All right. Put that together. I didn't know if there were some elements like ABS plastic or something that might have been there.
Well, there are some elements of ABS plastic that are put in there for certain areas, but for the most part, it's just folded steel. It's essentially a steel box that we put a bunch of batteries into, charging aspects, and then locking mechanisms.
Got it.
So,
okay. All right. Very nice. And What are you curious about right now? This can be personal or related to your business, Dad.
Curious about carbon batteries, actually. It
Okay.
just popped onto the market type of thing, and I've got some people talking to me about it. Faster charge rate, more capacity. I go down these rabbit holes of new tech to find out stuff where I've discovered battery boards that you can pop 18650 batteries on, like AA batteries.
Okay.
I'm now an expert in battery tech somehow because I went down a rabbit hole for that.
Okay.
Um, I Same thing with when I got started. I went down a rabbit hole for bicycles. Took me 3 months because this was originally my college graduate project. Took me 3 months to realize that there are no standardized bicycle frame designs in the entire market. It's all custom built.
Wow.
And that was really a kick in the pants when I realized that there's no standard. I mean, as an engineer, we look for that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Couldn't find it at all until I found out that it's all based on something called intelligent geometry. So take us back to elementary school here, and had to rebuild everything up from there. So
it's a universal clamp of sorts?
Yeah, universal clamp does anything from 10-year-old kid bikes up to e-bikes and everything. And otherwise, what I'm curious right now is to how to get rid of tomato hornworms because they're eating my garden.
Okay. That's very personal. That's a good one. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I like tomatoes, and they're eating my tomatoes. So
Got it. Well, what's something you failed at? And you can answer this in a few ways.
Oh, yeah. No, I failed at my first time getting an app developed. Failed horribly at it. Once tried myself, and turns out I'm just not good at it. Then went through a popular app development group at the time, and didn't really, just kind of figured I could give them the information, they'd figure it out, not realizing that at the time our idea of what we wanted to do was more advanced than what they could handle, and they didn't bother to tell us that, and I didn't bother to look into it at the time. So that was a real kick in the pants financially. I really failed on that one, and it set us back a good year on development.
But did you learn? Did you learn from it?
Learn that it's about everything you do as a startup is about relationships. You want to know the people you're working with. You want to know their capabilities. You want to have a good relationship with them, and you want to work with them. You don't want them to work for you.
Well, then it's really not a failure if you learn from it, and if you can't repeat it. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Well, good. Now, this is my favorite question that I ask in every interview because I'm a bit of a history buff. If you could have coffee with any historical figure, meaning someone has already passed, that cannot be alive, who would you choose and why?
Probably Tesla, because that guy was messed up in the head.
Okay.
Mainly because, well, see, my dad's from Michigan, and we frequent past because he's from Michigan. We have a summer house in northern Michigan, even though I live in Atlanta. Well, we frequent past a place called Iron Mountain, Michigan. And at one point, I'm not too sure if this was the same mountain, but Tesla was talking about electrifying an entire mountain based on its iron deposits so that you could just touch a light bulb to the ground and it would light up.
Wow.
And he did it.
Oh.
So, yeah, he actually did it. I mean, this man would actually theorize stuff and then go do it to the point where people are like, how is that even possible? So just to sit in a room with him for 5 minutes to pick his brain would be like awesome.
Okay. Well, I'm going to bring it a little more current.
Okay.
Who's your most important professional mentor?
My most important professional mentor had to be still kind of is my laser prof from Georgia Tech. And we kind of kept in touch over the years. But he was one that when I was really struggling and when I was in Georgia Tech, he saw the potential in me and what I could do. He even was totally fine with me dropping his class at one point. So it was one where the intelligence and the laid backness was really something I needed as a grounding for moving things forward. And I can even talk to him now today just to get ideas from him.
Okay, cool. And if you could go back to 18-year-old Tad, right, when he's about ready to enter college for the first time before you had all those degrees, what advice would you tell a young Tad?
Geez, you're going to spend a long time in college for starters. I spent 10 years in college. You're about to go on the craziest ride that you're ever going to go on, and all of your assumptions are just going to be completely, totally wrong.
Okay. All right. And you have goals in front of you. Where do you want to take your system, your locking system?
Well, let's spread it across the United States and then jump overseas to Europe, where the market's 3 times the size it is in the United States. Especially, hey, let's go to Paris. I mean, they just
Holland, they ride bikes everywhere.
Oh, yeah. And Paris just dumped 10,000 electric bikes onto the public that you can pick up. Holland, Copenhagen. Oh, geez.
Another one.
Has massive bike parking garages that you can go to. And then, I don't know, eventually get out to China and hope they don't rip off my device.
That's a separate conversation. I don't want to get in trouble there, but yeah, you got to be pretty careful. What's your plan to achieve your goals? How are you gonna jump this to that level?
Grind it out. Really we got the first station out. I'm already talking with avenues, with universities to do programs with them to get more stations out, either for more people to use, get more stations out either through pilot programs, through, as one professor put it, trying to get it out for the students is difficult, but if you want a research project, we can get that going and get it onto the campuses and get it rolling out so the students can use it. The more stations I can get in front of more eyes, the more people can use it, the faster it's going to go.
Okay. It's just a side question. Do you have a locking mechanism for non-e-bikes?
The funny thing is I designed the station so that it locks e-bikes, it locks regular bikes, it locks e-trikes, e-cargo bikes, and e-pedicabs, and all of the non-electric versions of those, including if you want to put the thing in backwards, it'll even lock it that way as well. But it's mostly around the biking genre type area. We haven't really ventured into scooter charging, blocking type scenarios, but we do have plans for those type of stations. We just saw the niche because nobody's really access to the personally owned e-bike charging thing. No one's really touching it because of the security problem.
Okay. All right. Well, it's also a more expensive bike than the typical Schwinn, I would imagine.
About $1,000, $2,000 more, typical.
That's a lot. Yeah, you gotta protect your investment. So when you have a challenge, how do you overcome it? Life throws us challenges.
Yeah, I don't shy away from them. I kind of face them head on, and then I find one little part of it that I can figure out. And as soon as I can figure out that one little part, I work on the next little part and the next little part. And then it's just a matter of series of small wins until you get the whole picture done. And as my dad and co-founder would say, he'd hand me a problem and say, go figure it out. And I'd look at him and go, you just think I'm going to come back with an answer? He goes, yeah. And then about an hour later, I hand him back the device and say, I figured it out. He's like, he gives a laugh and we go back to whatever the next thing is. So
interesting. Okay. And everybody's got this inside them, especially a well-educated guy. If you had to write a book tomorrow, what would you write about?
Timing is everything. Timing is what, I mean, if COVID hadn't happened, would I be having this conversation today? If something else might not have happened, would I be doing would things be different? timing is what makes us have the decisions we have, as opposed to just going through life as a zombie going back and forth from work.
Okay. And what's one question you wish I'd asked you, and that way you can answer it? And how would you have answered?
Let's see. I wish that you had asked me what the winning lottery numbers are so I could answer them so then I could be a millionaire.
But I'm not.
No, I really wish that you'd asked me about the fact of the bike locks and why can't you just use your own bike lock and why would you want to use my station? And
There's
then
the
that's when I'd have to answer, well, you don't want to use a regular bike lock because every bike lock can be cut in under 30 seconds. With an angle grinder, I can go pick up for $40 from Lowe's or Home Depot. So
Seriously?
by using our station and securing the wheel in the frame with metal bars, including anti-angle grinder technology that we've included into the station, you would have your bike secured through our station, and it would be there and charged for when you get back and when you want to ride.
It's not impossible. Have you the endorsement of the police departments in Atlanta?
We have
safety expert.
We have worked with the police department in finding out the theft rates of everything, but we have not been able to be endorsed by them yet. Something we are working towards to happen, and that's going to happen with more of our stations out in the field visible for them to be able to see it actually working. But it was interesting talking to the police and then telling us they know bike thieves and they know when they're in and out of jail. So they would pick them up off the side of the street with a pair of loppers or an angle grinder in a bag where they were just tossing bikes into a passing pickup truck and take them to jail.
Wow. Well, then you're gonna be bad for their business.
Yeah, I think so. Considering it's bike theft and parts and stuff like that is a several $100 million business. So yeah.
Wow. I had no clue. Well, so you're looking for more exposure. How can I support you? And this is where the people would go, is ParkENT Cycles.
Go to parkentcycles.com. We have the contact information at the bottom of the page to contact me. If you're looking for a business with wanting to get more foot traffic through the door, if you're wanting a corporate place that wants to lower your carbon footprint to have more bike commuters, or just a municipality that wants to promote urban mobility, this is we need to talk. We need to get things going, because right now there's a EV charging station tax credit. It's 30% off the purchase and installation price up to $30,000, and that's 4 stations right there. 4 stations, and we can fit 6 into a car parking space. We'll throw a little extra. We can throw a solar cover on top of that, so it's all solar powered. You can even get more solar benefits on top. We can get this thing rolling.
I would think some of these big campuses, like Google's campus or Microsoft campus, they would be great candidates for this.
Most definitely. We had originally developed the system to be on a campus. So this is that would be a perfect deployment for us.
Okay, well, great. And how would you rate your experience on the show? What would you say about your experience on the show today?
Well, I don't know so much about the host of the show, but otherwise it's going pretty good. No, it's been a very good experience, very laid back, very direct, even to the point on issues, but at the same time, it's been probative, inquisitive, and entertaining.
Thank you. What's your final word or words? You can put a plural there if you want that.
My final word and or words, pay attention to what's going on around you, because you'll find stuff you didn't know was there.
Be more observant.
Very much so.
Okay. Well, I wish you the greatest of success with this. I think you're fitting a niche. The timing is perfect because of global warming. All of this, you're working in tandem with an existing business, and you've now made it a wise investment to invest in an e-bike. You've eliminated the big, scary point of an expensive bicycle with the secure. It's going to be there when you come back. when you go back and use this bike again, you've provided that security.
Yeah, so we're looking to alleviate the range anxiety and security anxiety, because while you can lock a car, you just can't lock a bike.
Well, that's fantastic. I love it. And you've been a great guest, and thank you for your attendance today. Appreciate it very much, that.
Thank you very much.